and she goes to hit on Clark.
What's the matter?
Nothing. Just a change.
She's in a sleeveless shirt. It's not like she's wearing bondage leather or something. Why is everyone reacting with this, oh, my mouth doesn't work anymore, and I can't stand up now? I mean, I know teenagers are hormonal, but seriously.
Apparently so are the people who write Smallville. And so they're off to the pool to go swimming and stripping.
I know that's how I want it.
Look, it's softcore Lana. No, seriously, that's what the menu calls this scene.
And of course, now Lana's stripping off. On the one hand, I can understand now why Clarky is reacting like he is. On the other hand, there's a clear double standard at play here, and let's not pretend there's not. John Schneider wasn't shirtless earlier, but we have to show the teenage girl in her bra and panties. Yes, I know the actress is of age, but the character isn't.
Although, do you want to see John Schneider in those bra and panties? I mean, I do, but I have my own interests at stake here. Meanwhile, Judge Reinhold masturbates in the bathroom somewhere.
You know, I will say this. Clark is showing admirable restraint for a teenage boy.
Clark, for some reason, because there's no kryptonite in play here, trips and falls into the water. And when he finally gets back to the top, he sees...
Honey, you got real ugly.
Later on, Clark and Chloe are discussing Lana and his father. And in our big contrivance for the episode, which says a lot in the Smallville episode, they amazingly happen to accidentally catch shots of Professor Hamilton at the crash site at the time, and so now they know Hamilton is involved. Back at the Talon, which is the coffee shop that Lana runs, Lex happens to be there and he sees Lana acting out of character. Getting all crazy and fun and closing the place early so she can hang out.
Seriously, WB? Seriously? Were you out of popsicles and bananas for her to play with? Ugh!
You're not impressing anyone with the attitude, Lana. You're talking to someone who set the bar for adolescent rebellion.
And now she starts hitting on Lex. Psst, Lana and Lex getting together. That's ridiculous. And then she gets violent at Lex and steals his car while he's in shock.
And when in doubt, rage.
All the speeding cars in this episode. Is this the WB or Spike TV? Elsewhere, Chloe makes a quick trip to visit Hamilton in his lab and sees enough to figure out about the flowers. Okay, a quick efficient scene that led somewhere. Let's get rid of that right now with Lana driving her stolen car to...
No. 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 You're telling me that Lana, stripped of all her inhibitions, violent, irresponsible, slutty Lana, still cares about this very, very G-rated dream of climbing the little windmill and looking off at Metropolis in the distance.
You want me? Come and get me.
Uninhibited Lana, ladies and gentlemen.
Mind you, there's nothing personally at stake for her with the windmill. It's not like a place where her parents died or something special. It's just a tall place. And Lana falls. Oh, the tension. Well, yes, he caught her. Off to the hospital! And at the hospital, where we're spending half this episode, Martha reveals that Jonathan has now fallen into a coma himself. And he is now finally tied with the Kevin Costner version of Jonathan Kent.
In the diary, they talk about a flower. The settlers called it Nicodemus.
And we called it that. Why?
Well, Nicodemus in the Bible was a Pharisee Jesus told about being born again. Well, he was the psychic in Nim. No. It sounds cool.
Wait, there's more. Dr. Hamilton didn't check out the Nicodemus diary. Lex did.
I'm hoping Chloe hacked that information, because as a librarian myself, I know it's a major no-no to tell people what someone else has checked out.
So Scooby and the gang figure out what's going on and they're off to solve the case. In downtown Smallville, Clark confronts Lex, but he still denies knowing who Professor Hamilton is. At the same time, Chloe and Pete break into Hamilton's lab, and Pete gets spit on right away by one of the flowers there. And he goes instant instantly into crazy mode. He didn't get a build-up time like Lana and Jonathan did.
Evening, Commissioner.
Oh no.
Maybe these particular flowers have been uber-enhanced by Hamilton.
No, I think it's third act disease because the stolen flower came from the same lab, so third act. Pete steals a gun from the lab because all science labs have guns. Then he steals Chloe's car and he goes off. Back at the hospital, is it too late to start a drinking game? Probably, but still it wouldn't hurt to drink. We find out that Beals, the driver from the very beginning, has now died.
With all my abilities, there's nothing I can do. What do we do if Dad...
I guess you go north. That's kind of what you do in this situation. And then we have a good scene with Martha, talking about the first time she met Jonathan. Not much to say about this. I don't want to play the whole scene, but it's a good one. Annette O'Toole can act, and there's not much to criticize. Moving on.
Well, except this last little bit right here at the end.
I was thinking, God, I hope he marries me.
That's kind of weird, Martha.
So Chloe interrupts Lady Jessica's speech to get Clark to tell him all about how Pete's going after Lex.
Wait, Pete didn't say that. How does she know he's going after Lex?
Because Chloe's not a moron, doesn't need to actually be said to know what's happening.
Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, at Lex's mansion, Hamilton has discovered some old Indian cure in an old first edition book.
Looks kind of like something Bilbo would have written.
And Pete shows off the efficacy of Lex's security by barging into his mansion and even into his own private room with a gun.
Pete, we have the cure. We're gonna make everyone better.
You're nothing but a liar. Clark can't see it, but I can. And now you're gonna pay.
No.
He shoots Hamilton and knocks the cure book right into the fire. Lex and Hamilton work together and manage to save the book, and Hamilton gets away, but now Pete's alone with Lex, and he's got the gun. And he's already proven that he's willing to use it. Then Clark arrives!
Man! Anybody could just walk right on into the Luthor mansion any time of day or night, can't they?
I saw Hamilton here. They're working on this together.
Is that true?
Clark, he's delusional.
I don't believe you. You're right, Pete. He's been lying to everyone.
So Clark agrees with Pete to get him off guard, knocks Lex out, and then takes Pete out.
Should have had a V8, Pete.
Afterward, Lex still denies knowing Professor Hamilton. At the hospital, the cure is working and Jonathan wakes up. And apparently the other two were less injured, so they got out already. Since the infected people don't remember what they did while they were under the spell of Nicodemus, Pete doesn't remember anything about Clark's secret. We'll see how long that'll last. Chloe goes to check out Hamilton's lab again and finds out it's been completely emptied out. Soon we find out it was by Lex. He assigns Hamilton to go to a new lab that he has just set up called Cadmus, which, if you know DC Comics at all, knows that has a lot of import. That will maybe possibly come to play later, but not by that name at least. Elsewhere, Clark has managed to get Lana all the way to the top of the windmill, somehow without her looking, because he's telling her to now open her eyes that she's on top. How'd you do that without showing off your powers? And we're off in this sweet, lame ending.
It's beautiful.
You spoke your mind and you did what you wanted. Kind of a alpha Lana.
I'm talking Night Court in its 5th season, lame.
It's a beautiful day.
But at least I like this song, so that's something. And that's Nicodemus. Not a very good episode, being season 1 Smallville, that's to be expected. What do you think, Off-Screen Kim? Better or worse than Craving?
Better than Craving, still pretty bad.
Yeah. Smallville's got plenty of great episodes, these just haven't been it. It's very formulaic, as is a lot of Smallville, and just repeats over and over again. I suppose on one hand you can say we're getting to see what the character really desires deep down, but none of these are all that surprising. Lana wants to be more open and free, and Jonathan and Pete are both really pissed off at Lex and the rest of the world, and we've already seen that in other situations, so all we see is them acting on that anger instead of just having the anger. It's kind of like the old adage that you're never more honest when you're drunk, but that's not really true because you're not more honest, you just don't care anymore. That's not honesty, that's you being cut off from reality.
But at least Smallville had the sense not to do the strange chemicals are making us act out of character episode on the second episode of the series,
thereby proving that Smallville is a superior show to Star Trek The Next Generation. Or is that not how that works? But they still made a better choice in this regard. So as usual, decide for yourselves. But as for me, I'm calling Nicodemus a bad episode of Smallville. I can't really say S&M because S&M covers both good and bad. Depending on which side you're on.
YouTube gave this a ban, so Matt and I hatched a plan. The end credits we would edit just because we can. Instead, here's a new song,
Toys for Boys,
so the credits go on.
by boy Shaska.
It's public domain, you can't complain, we can't be happy with that. What's the deal with saying we steal? It's fair use, we'll give them their dues. If it's so bad, you block our reviews. Why link up with iTunes?
Making money there.
So if you're hearing this song, YouTube claimed we done wrong. The song title is still vital, right near the end. You'll see what could have been.
It was fun.
Let's get out of here. This place is a dead end.